think sometimes you try to capture it on film. I don't think it like
like in person. If you see the work ethic that they do and the drills and being there for a couple hours, like they are non-stop pumping.
Seriously,
with intensity too. So
they're hard workers.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Oh, yeah.
With the wrestling practice.
So I've trained. This is before I had kids, and I always said, listen, what you see in the movies and when you try to capture on film, like in person, man, the speed and the way they hit the bags, it's just next level, man.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It really is.
Like you try to capture that sound, it just doesn't cut. You know.
No.
In person, man, I love seeing like beautiful athletes move, man. It's just
that one knockout on Karate Combat.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you heard it on the thing, but like being there and hearing that thing.
I know, man.
And my son looks up at me and goes, is that guy dead?
Like, that was insane.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, that was insane.
How'd you two hook up? I guess we'll get that.
So first off, welcome to another episode of Adversity Kings. We're live, and we've got special guest today, Richard Abraham. Abraham, cool. Yes. I say it, and then I was like, wait, is his name actually Maximus?
Well, people call me Maximus.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, oh shit, I just said the wrong name. So Richard Abraham, who runs the Maximus Muay Thai.
Correct.
And that's out of Roselle.
Yep.
Right? Awesome. So, yeah, dude, how you doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just
bro.
Matchmaking for our next show and enjoying life.
Sweet. So I found him. You were asking how I found him. So I was asking around because I've been doing jiu-jitsu a couple years, mainly out of 10th Planet Lombard, and did a match basically, or just a live roll with a guy from Kazakhstan, and we like slap box, like the whole nine. You know what I mean? Like we just did like a whole like little MMA match, and I just felt so like childish. Like I felt like he was just playing with me, and I was like, you know what, dude? Like if somebody came in my house and like did this to me, you know, in front of my wife, in front of my kids, you know what I mean? Well, it's one thing to be able to like athletically and like coordination strike, but it's another thing because it's a whole skill set, and guys that have years on you or whatever, it's not even comparable. Like if someone said they wanted to do jiu-jitsu with me, if they have zero training, I'll literally be able to play with them. It won't be a match whatsoever. Yeah. And that's how it is with the striking as well, unfortunately, because a lot of, us young men, we just think, oh, I'll black out or I'll see red and I'll just beat everybody up. That is not true at all. Not true. And so I was inspired and I started asking guys like, where's the best? Who is the best? Because I'm like the type where it's like, if I'm going to spend any time on it, I want the best. I don't care where it is. I'll drive, I'll fly, whatever. I want the best, and that's how I found you. You know what I mean? So it wasn't even like a question. It was like, this is the guy to work with. This is the guy to work with, and I'll work with you. I've been working with you, I don't know, a couple of weeks or a month now, and I'll put you on the story, and people will be like, they'll just know, like random people that like that in my following, everybody knows. Oh, that's Maximus, that's Rich. You know what I mean? So it's really cool and really reassuring as well. Yeah. So that's how I found him.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's cool. How'd you get into Muay Thai?
It's fun. So I was about 23 years old, and I like underground fought a little bit, just whatever. I like to fight. And then I was going against this one dude. He's my buddy now, and he was we were going after each other, and he started kicking me in my leg, and that's my thing. I pound people with hands, and I'm like, idiot, kick someone in the leg, and I took it to him with my just boxing, just being aggressive but the next day I got up and I got out of bed and I fell right down. And I'm like, I couldn't walk for like 3 days. And I'm like, man, I call him, I was like, what'd you do to me? He's like, it's Muay Thai, bro. Yeah. So at the time I was lifting a lot of weights. I was like into powerlifting. And then, man, he took me to the Muay Thai gym and that was it. I knew right then and there, this is where I'm spending all my time and energy. I stopped lifting weights. I just focused on the sport because it's like you get these nerdy guys that look like dorks that you'd make fun of or skinny, scrawny. And like you were saying, most people think they can fight until you go in there with someone that has experience or has been in a ring. It's laughable. Like people just throw these big shots or it's like when someone trains and they see it, it's just, it's easy. So I started pushing myself and wanting to compete against, athletes that are doing the same thing. Like we're basically hunting each other. Like I fell in love with the fear and the anxiety of, hey, someone's trying to hurt me. So it helped me get up in the morning, helped me, just push through all the bullshit to stay focused on it and just fight.
Did you ever travel?
Oh yeah, I traveled a bunch. I was
overseas, go over.
Oh yeah. I fought in Thailand a bunch.
Yep.
Undefeated over there.
Yeah.
Fought in Africa, Russia.
Oh, you were undefeated in Thailand?
Yeah. I fought over there like 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
I was the first American to fight in the new Lumpini Stadium.
Yep.
Which Lumpini is like the mecca of Muay Thai.
Yep.
I happened to be out there at the time, and they're like, "Hey man, you want to fight?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" So I ended up taking a fight. I fought there. Then I fought 2 weeks later. Then I fought 3 weeks later, and 3 times in 5 weeks I finished all the guys.
And how long have you been training when you did all that?
I was training for about 3 years, 4 years.
So 3 years
about,
in.
Three, 4 years, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's impressive, man.
Yeah, like anything, it's like when you want to do something really, you become obsessed with it. And excuses are all bullshit. I don't believe in addiction or excuses. Like, basically, we're men. We're gonna do what we really want to do, what's in our heart. And if you really, really want something, you're not gonna make an excuse. You're gonna find a way.
Yeah.
And for me, I run a business. One of my businesses is I engrave tombstones.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
Yeah, I still have to get up and I still have to run my business and do it. So I had to wake up at 4 a.m., 4 or 5 a.m. And, I'd train a couple hours in the morning, go to work all day, get home before I had kids, and I would take a little nap. And then it was always, I'd train with Nam. We'd train at 8 o'clock because that's basically the time that he would get out of work and get there from the city. And we'd train in my basement. I mean, it was just 2 of us. People always talk about these big fancy gyms. We didn't have that. We had, a basement. I'm a visual learner, so I was really good at watching fights and picking it up. And I had some coaches along the way, but I was like, hey, how do I catch up with these guys that have been doing since they were little kids? I was like, train twice a day. Most people train 5-6 times a week. I was training like 12 to 15. So in a matter of time, I was like, hey man, my 3 years is someone's 5-6 years.
Yeah, that's all I preach for sales. Just double up the reps.
Yep, that's
all it is.
That's it.
Yeah, just double up the reps.
So
did you go up in weight or did you come down in weight when you're
so when I first started fighting, I was 240, and I took my first fight at 190.
Dang.
And I kicked this guy in the arm 23 seconds in the first round. I dislocated his shoulder. And I'll never forget, I had purple shorts on. Yeah, and they raised my hand in front of we were in Rockford at the clock tower. Yeah. And they raised my hand, and I'll just never forget that feeling. Like, I was like, this is better than drugs, women, anything imaginable. And it was just, I fell in love with it.
Those are the good fights, man. 23 seconds.
Yeah, that's insane.
You get in the fights to end them.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like when it's a battle, like when I get cut or when someone like hurts me and I have to dig. I love, that's what I love about fighting is you really find out what type of man you are. Can you push through the pain? Can you deal with the adversity of someone just maybe being better than you?
Yeah.
And it's like, I always kind of compare, it's like 2 lions like going at it. Like, no one's gonna back down ever. They're both gonna fight to the end, even if one has a better hand. And you only see that really in high level fighting. You see 2 guys going there, and no matter what happened, even if they're one guy's getting their ass whooped, he won't typically like get scared. He'll keep fighting hard. He'll keep trying to win. And you see a lot with fighters both going confident, and one starts to shrink, diminish, and the other starts to rise. And that's typically what you see. Yeah. But when you start to get to those higher levels, like, you don't see that. You just see 2 guys always trying to kill each other to the end.
Yeah, that's a mindset too, though. Man.
It is.
I mean, you gotta, because when you're digging like that, sometimes it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's hard. Either you don't got the wind, and then you realize, all right, should train harder. And then the other one is you just got to have the will, man. That will can't break.
No, it can't. And the thing is, I found out is people that typically have suffered more in life through bad experiences make better fighters.
Is that your story?
Yeah. There was, my mom passed away when I was young at 12. At the time, the mama jokes were big. Yeah. So I would fight a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Let's get into that. Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Streamwood, Illinois. I lived in Streamwood my whole life. It wasn't that bad. I was kind of contributing to the badness.
Yeah.
You know, I got in some trouble when I was younger. I was a dickhead, and I ended up turning it around. I was faced with a tough decision, and I was like, you know what, it all ain't worth it. So I ended up moving to my uncle's in Roselle, and I like changed my number, stopped talking to all my old friends, and got into lifting because it took my time and energy.
Yeah.
I went to work and lifted, and then that's when the fighting kind of came along.
Who were you closest with though, growing up, from a very young age, prior to mom passing? Like, who were you closest with in that?
Well, it was my mom.
Yeah.
My mom was, I mean, you know, my dad, he's a military guy.
Yeah.
Always about respect. Yes, sir. No, sir.
Yeah.
Very big on discipline. So, and we had that. But my mom, she had breast cancer for 11 years, and you know, just growing up seeing her like that. So,
wow.
You know, we were always close. She was always like my comfort.
Yeah.
So when she passed, you know, that was obviously rough. And then 2 days later, my grandpa passed away.
Wow.
Yeah. So my dad lost his wife and his father.
Oh, wow.
And you know, he stayed strong. His work was very lenient, but he had to go to work. So we got an au pair, and I'm 12 years old, so I'm running around. You know, I got a lot of anger inside of me.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm just dealing with it by fighting and just being a knucklehead.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's deep, bro. That's deep. One of my best friends kind of taught me everything in the insurance space. His name's Brody. He lost his mom, I think it was brain cancer, but it was around the same age.
Yeah.
He's a dog. You know what I mean? He went on to play D1 football and then got into the insurance space and just crushed it. But completely agree. You know what I mean? That's what came up with the Adversity Kings. Yeah. From, you know, more of the king isn't even like, most would associate that with like, you know, being a king, a male. But honestly, that's when my mom got out, because both my parents went away, and my mom raised me and my little sister. And I just saw her just kind of like king up over the household and just work 2-3 jobs, and you know, we still had it rough and everything like that. But you know, that kind of helped me, you know, overcome that. But I relate deeply to that, dude. You know, you just let it fuel you, or you let it, you know, turn you into mediocrity, into somebody weak. So as you get into the fighting, and you did no college then, right?
No, I did a semester at ECC. Okay. But I knew I wasn't for school.
Wasn't for you.
No, my family owned Meyer Granite Company off Cumberland and Belmont.
Yeah.
So I was around it. I was around the Tombstones a lot. And I kind of had a feeling like my uncle was a mechanic too. I was a mechanic that's how I started learning to drive at 12, doing oil changes. I could drop motors and stuff. I did all that. My other uncle owned a truck painting business, sanding trucks. I always worked. You know, you want something, my dad would be like, you want something, go work for it. Yeah, you know. So I've been working since an early age, and you know, we only had so much. My dad provided for us well, you know, like as well as he could, and you know, that was just always my thing. Is like, hey man, you want something, you got to go get it. You got to work hard for it. You got to save your money. You got to, you know. And after a while, they were like, man, like, you got to spend some time being a kid. Yeah. Because I was just going to work all the time. I was like, I had money. I wanted shoes. I bought shoes. I wanted clothes. I bought clothes. I wanted things. I could buy it.
Yeah.
Family still have the business?
What? No, so they actually sold it to the one guy that was working, this Polish guy, Mike. Okay. But my uncle started doing the tombstone lettering. And I knew, I was like, my uncle works 9-10 months out of the year, got freedom. You know, you're not going to get rich, but you're going to be comfortable, you know, and I could take the time off whenever I want. So like, you know, today I should be at work, but you know, I could pick my own schedule. So that's the nicest part about it. And with fighting especially, that gave me the freedom to pursue my dreams. And I just knew I needed to make X amount of dollars. So I just worked X amount, because if I wanted to, I could make double, or I passed on so much money because of fighting. And it was always a passion of mine, because I was leaving a lot of money on the table, but I just love fighting. And honestly, like kickboxing, Muay Thai never paid much, but I didn't do it for the money. The whole purpose was because I love the sport. I love the aspect of the training, the fear of fighting and conquering your fear. That was always made me feel alive.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, at one point, you were ranked number 5 in the world, right?
I was ranked number 5 in the world, and that was all in my basement. Like, you know, like people don't realize that. People like they would come over, people would interview me, and they'd be like, "I'm like, yeah, come on." And they'd be like, "Oh, where's the gym?" I was like, "Oh, it's in my basement." I'm like, "Oh," and they go in my basement.
That'd make me sick.
Yeah, and like we had Nam, my one boy Slate, and this other dude named Buffalo, and we had basically like 4 of us at one time.
It all turned pro eventually.
What?
That all turned pro eventually.
Yeah, and then you know I kept fighting. I would save up money, go to Thailand, fight in Thailand, and man, I started getting opportunities because they're like, who's this crazy white dude that's just going around the world fighting by himself and winning? And I was like,
so you had no corner?
No. I just did it. I mean, I did have coaches that helped me, that advised me, but later on, like in the beginning, I didn't have anyone.
That would make me sick. I look over. Honestly, it's probably like an intimidation factor too. Look over some dude doesn't even have a corner. They're just out there swinging for the fences or something.
Yeah, and like you know, when you're with the Thais, they're like Richard kick. They don't talk much English. Yeah. You know, so they're always like, "You're boxing no good. You got to kick. You got to kick or no win."
Yeah.
So that was it, man. But I like I said, man, like my first guy that I fought in Thailand was a Russian, and we're at like one of the Yokkao stadiums. And it's kind of outdoor, kind of indoor. And there's like bleachers. And I'm standing behind the bleachers. They're rubbing me with some Thai oil, that liniment. And I look over, and there's this guy doing the splits, standing up. And I'm like, hey, who's that? To my trainer, and he's like, Richard, that's your opponent. And I'm like, it's like a Russian with 70 fights.
Yeah.
And, you know, we start off.
What weight class was that?
That was at buck 75, I think. Okay. Something like that.
Yeah.
And he hit me with a fucking axe kick.
Yeah.
An axe kick.
Yeah.
And I was like, son of a bitch. And I used my footwork, and I was better conditioned, and I could take a hit. So I just took it to him, and I was popping kicks left and right. When I normally like to box. But like in Thailand, you got to kick. So I was just smashing kicks on this dude and just putting it on him as much as I can. And he slowed down around the 3rd round. In the 3rd and 4th round, the 4th round is considered the money round. Yeah. You could win pretty much 1, 2, 3, and 5. You don't win 4, you're not winning the fight.
Dang.
That's how it is out there. Yeah.
Now,
what was the purse? I'm sorry, I gotta know, man.
$100.
That's great.
$100. 3,000 baht.
$100.
That's insane.
Yeah.
What was your hardest fight?
My hardest fight was probably Datsiev. Out of Russia. It was my first pro loss. I had 5 fights. I was fighting. Waco called me, and they're like, "Hey, man, do you want to fight in Russia?" And I was like, "Who's it against?" And they're like, "Well, I'm telling you right now, we don't know, but they're not bringing you out there to win." So we went to Russia and fought this guy. He was like a national champ. This guy had a couple hundred fights, and I got back from Thailand, and I didn't give a shit. I just wanted to fight. So we're in the woods in Russia. There's like 5,000 Russian people around. There's a bunch of girls with like wigs and like pasties on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just beautiful Russian girls all over the place. And, you know, I end up fighting this guy, and I lost on a split decision in Russia. But he hurt me the first round. He hit me, I think he caught me with an overhand. And freaking, I felt like I was stepping on potholes. Then he went to the body, hit me with a liver shot. I couldn't breathe. I'm stepping on potholes. I made it through the round. But he blew his wad. Because he got tired. And then I started pouring on him the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I mean, I was just walking him down, just beating the brakes off him. But that was honestly probably, I would say, one of my toughest fights.
Yeah?
Yeah. One of the coolest experiences, too.
So you guys were literally outside?
Oh, yeah. We were fighting outdoors. In the woods.
In the woods.
Yeah, and there was a foam party down by the river afterwards, or the lake afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, we were shooting AKs. Like, we were with these Russian, I'm pretty sure they were mob, but like they would just blow the lights. Yeah. They're like, we're riding the car. I'm like, hey man, I want to go shooting. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, when? I was like, now. He pulls out like a little Molotov or whatever, a little pistol.
Yeah.
Freaking cocks it back and fucking goes boom, boom. And when we're with a bunch of the other Americans, and they're like, oh my God. And he's like, here you go. So I go out the window, and I'm just as we're driving, just shooting.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
It was one of the coolest trips, man.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, you went to the karate combat, right?
Yeah.
And what was that like?
Dude, that was honestly, out of all the events I've been to across the world, that was like a party.
Yeah.
It's like you felt like you were fighting at a club.
Yeah.
They have just, they don't care about venue size. They don't care about like, man, at my promotion, we sell more tickets than them.
Yeah.
But they keep it small. They got good investors, and it's like a party, man. They got, it was a crazy feeling, man. It was really cool. I really enjoyed their show and how they run their events.
That's insane.
They treat you well, though, man. They treat the fighters well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, my buddy is named Damian Moody. He's one of their main producers. He works for Glory Kickboxing. He works for Glory. I'm sorry. He works for Glory, and he works for UFC, Karate Combat. He does a lot of stuff. So when I called him and I hit him up, he was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm in Orlando, and I happen to be in Orlando for Disney World with my son." And he's like, "You want to come?" So he hooked us up with all VIP tickets.
That's cool.
My son we were right next to Mike Perry.
Okay.
You know, President Awesome, and it was free drink, free food. I mean, they took care of us.
Did you get your kids into fighting or no?
Yeah. So my oldest son, Alec, he's into fighting. He's 20 years old. He's got over 30 fights.
Okay.
And so after high school, I said, "Hey man, instead of going to college, why don't you go to Thailand? I'll sponsor you for a year." So I went out there and got him a condo with him and set him up at a gym. And he stayed out there, learned to speak the language, had 10 fights.
That's cool.
Now he's back home, yeah.
Well, that's where everything came from, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to learn the art, that's where you go.
Yep.
So
yeah.
So what's the key, you would say? If you want to move up, you want to move up fast besides reps, like, you know, I think most people from the West, Americans, if you will, like training here is a lot different.
Yeah.
Than training overseas.
Yeah.
You know? And because these kids, man, they grow up kicking freaking bamboo trees, man.
Yeah. You know, it's not, I mean, over there, I guess it's just easier access and it's more acceptable by society. But to be honest with you, like, the key is like, it has to be number one. If you want to fight, like, man, when I fought, I wasn't the best husband. I wasn't the best father. But I promise I was the best fighter I could be. And I know that because, you know, my kids got birthday, but I still got to be in the gym. My dad's got birthday. I mean, I would literally, like, I'd have a vacation plan with my wife. You know, she's like, I want to take, you know, and I buy her vacation. I get a call. Hey, man, you got to fight in 6 weeks. Sorry, honey. Can't go. And she understood. She was fully understanding of that. Obviously, a strong woman helps me. She pushed me to go to Thailand a bunch. Because, you know, I'm traveling by myself. It's like I'm leaving. I usually buy like a one-way ticket. Yeah. I stay out there for a period of time, a month, 2 months, something like that. And my wife's like, "Hey, you want to come home now?" I was like, I guess it's been long enough.
Yeah. So, who was supporting you financially? Was she working?
No. So, like I said, with the cemetery lettering,
the gravestone business.
I was able to make enough, and I had sponsors. I had some good sponsors that believed in me and respected what I was doing, and helped me out a lot financially. So I didn't have to work as much. Because you know, when I'm training for a fight, and you know, I get obsessed, right? I like, my sole focus is whoever I'm fighting. Yeah. And man, the moment from I wake up to the moment I close my eyes, that's all I think about. I'm just trying to be the best. I mean, like, I don't normally eat organic food like that, but I get organic food. I mean, I try to make myself the best possible fighter I can be. And then as soon as that's done, I go back to being whatever. But like when I'm in that moment, man, it's that's it. Like, it's on. Yep. So
what would it take to get you to fight again? I know you're talking about, because Karate Combat asked you, and I was like, I wonder what is the ticket. You know what I mean?
So I mean, it's got to be at least 5 figures. Yeah. I can't. Like, I mean, I got offered a fight in Poland not too long ago, and they were offering me like $5-6 grand. And to be honest with you, like, I'm happy. Yeah. You know, I got a good life. I'm spending more time with my kids, and my businesses are doing good, and it's like, for $5-6 grand, am I gonna really like? Like, for up and coming guys, like, I mean, that's a good purse for up and comers. Yeah, huge. But I've been fighting. I got over 50 fights. Yeah. And man, you want to get me off my couch? I want a boat. I like to fish.
He loves boats. He loves boats. You just said boat. Now we got another hour of podcast. Right.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
You have a boat now?
No. I got a couple kayaks.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what you should look into that's actually cheap is the jet skis. So he got me into jet skis.
Yeah.
And they'll go 70 miles. I don't know. Like, how fast have you gone on the water, bro?
Well, my one buddy had a supercharged jet ski. I think I was like 60 or something like that. But
this jet ski, I got it up to 70 miles per hour. It is an insane feeling. Like, you feel like you'll die if you fall off.
Yeah, you're like floating on the water and you're gripping on so tight.
So tight. Because Lake Michigan's insane.
Yeah, it is.
It's insane, dude. So, yeah, he just got a new one. What'd you get?
It's the 2024 RXTX, 325 horse.
Damn.
It's crazy that, we had the 300 horsepower
you can fish
once
off
last
it.
year.
That's what I would do. I like fishing.
Oh, yeah.
It's just crazy. I love smart people because smart people just make things better and better and better.
Oh, yeah.
And, he was asking me, so how was it? Because I just got it Saturday. And I'm like, it's hard for me to describe because it's, how do you make something that you think, okay, it doesn't get any better?
Yeah.
And then you just make it that much better.
Yeah.
It's like, sweet. How do you do that? It's just,
it's sweet, dude.
It's just so crisp. I can't explain it. It's just awesome. Literally anytime
it's got Bluetooth. It's got like a HD display.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're sick, dude. They're like a couple $100 a month or something. They're cheap.
It's fun, man.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's good times. I hear you though, man. It's you work hard, right? To be able to do stuff like that with your kids.
I grew up in Arkansas and we would catfish a lot and we'd eat it. You know what I mean? So a lot of people I'll meet, outside of the South and they'll catch and release. So you a catch and release?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't so
you gotta be careful around here though.
I don't eat fish. Like, I really don't eat fish. Like if I catch a fresh fish, don't get me wrong, like out the ocean or something.
Yeah, sure. Chicago looks dirty.
It's super. Man, people eat that salmon all the time out there. And I'm like,
Chicago looks dirty.
I don't know, man. The fish has got to be like some fresh caught mahi.
Yeah.
More like saltwater. Don't get me wrong. I've ate catfish. I do enjoy it. Some catfish nuggets. Fry them.
Gator.
Put some little sauce on. Gator. I love gator.
Yeah.
Put some sauce on there so it don't taste like fish.
Yeah.
And I'm in.
That's the worst too. Is like when the shorty's cooking fish or something, and it smells like shit in the house.
Yeah,
like,
no.
You know what I mean? It's like a good rule to have. Like, hey, we're not eating fish in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
We're not going to eat fish. Dude, sweet. So what about outside of fishing, family, fighting? What else do you kind of like? Is there any other, between family, fighting, and that, like, do you have any other hobbies or things you like to kind of like step away and just do you? I always bring I kind of segue this into movies because I always like to know what people's favorite movies are, but some people don't watch TV at all.
Yeah, so. I honestly, man, sitting on the couch with my wife and ordering like a pizza. Yeah, like that's like my time.
What's the best pizza?
Well, I like Illuminati's, but you got to go fresh.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
He says Illuminati's.
You got to go. I got to go there.
Yeah.
So, but like a lot of times,
you get a deep dish?
Of course.
Yes.
For real?
Of course. A Chicago thing.
No,
man.
Chicago people don't like deep dishes.
That's not true.
If you live here long enough, you don't like deep dish.
They're not real Chicagoan.
No. Oh, for real?
No.
They're not.
New Yorkers like that stuff you can fold. And it's stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. If I do a deep dish, I like Giordano's more than
Giordano's is solid.
I've had some good Giordano's.
There's nothing like Lou's.
No.
Yeah.
Does Illuminati's have the cookie skillet? I'm a
big
sweet tooth.
They do.
Yeah, so I'll get that cookie skillet from Illuminati's, bro, and I'll smash a cookie skillet.
No, Lou's is special, man.
It is.
Yeah.
I think you were telling me Illuminati's the first time I got deep dish, and I was like, should I get Giordano's or Illuminati's? And
Lou's.
Yeah, you got to go there.
Yeah.
Butter crusted.
Oh yeah.
bro.
Forget
the whole sheet of sausage.
Oh yeah.
I get irritated now when I go to other places. They give you at least crumble sausage a little. I'm like, give me the whole sheet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Get all sausage. Throw some cheese on it.
Yeah, bro.
That's right, man.
Yeah. So I have the tombstone business, and I do I have the gym obviously, and I do I have a promotion as well. We do fight nights. We've done 11 shows. We got our next one September 7th, our 12th one, and we do it all in a ring. We added MMA a couple shows ago. We do combat jiu-jitsu and jiu-jitsu now as well, but mostly Muay Thai.
Does the gaming commission put a lot of pressure? Like, is that hard to get through? Or not really?
The gaming commission and I have a good relationship.
Yeah.
So and that's key.
They just want to get paid, basically,
well,
right?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. It's not just about money because, why isn't the UFC come here?
Yeah.
Why is this one of the biggest cities in the country and the UFC doesn't do shows here?
Yeah, that's
I
true.
heard it's because of the unions, right? Because everything they do.
It is.
I heard that because when I went to a Bellator match, it was all union working the event.
Yep. But there's a lot of politics. It's Chicago, so we get along with the gaming commission very well.
Yeah.
Brian Porcello.
Let's go. If you
Nancy,
Brian.
like we
Come get on the podcast.
Yeah, we have a great relationship. So then I also own a not-for-profit. We do, this is called the National Muay Thai Association. We hold scrimmages. So basically it's like people that want to try a fight, you have to wear chest protector, gloves, headgear, shin guards. And it's not a fight because there's no winner and loser.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a way that.
What if you get knocked out?
Well, we try to really stay away from that. So there's no like 8 counts or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's a way though to get in front of a crowd of people.
Yeah.
And go at someone from a different gym in a more controlled setting. You use 16-ounce gloves. You know, it's. And like if one person starts getting the better of the other, we tell the person to calm down.
Yeah.
So it's just a way that to get these athletes more experience without adding to their record.
Yeah. That's sweet.
Because once you keep adding on your record, you got to fight better and better guys.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of people a lot of kids, obviously, a lot of people that are 50 years old want to do it.
Yeah.
Or a lot of just your average guy that goes to work every day that could never really do a fight camp.
Yeah.
But he wants to know what it's like to get in there.
Yeah.
And that's the coolest thing we give these we give these people, and it helps the sport grow, and that's one of the biggest things. So,
I heard something a while ago, and I've known this for a while, but I kind of forgot the politics. But like if you're ranked number 5, right, but let's say you're ranked number 48. In order for you to move up in ranking, you got to fight guys above you. But the guys above you sometimes they don't want to take a lower guy.
Yeah.
Because they just don't, because they want to move up too.
It's a huge difference in pay. Yeah. So they typically guys will protect, but that's more like UFC and stuff. Like more kickboxers, Muay Thai guys, they don't give a shit.
They just want to fight.
They just want to fight.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest difference promoting wise. Like don't get me wrong, MMA people, they're hard to work with. MMA people are a lot harder to work with.
Well, now they all want to get paid.
Yeah. We just do amateurs, so we don't even pay them.
Yeah.
But they want the hand-picked fights.
Yeah,
they want a little easier stuff compared to where Muay Thai guys and MMA guys, kickboxers, they're like, yeah, let's go. Hey, this is okay. I don't care. Like they just want to fight. So
let's go. Well, as we wrap up, Drusekis is fighting Adesanya. Who do you got? I think it's in 2 months.
Man, I think Adesanya hasn't been the same.
Yeah, bro. That light looks out.
Yeah, it's just
the light looks out.
Man, when you reach the top of the hill, and people like Dog Mayweather, but he reached the pinnacle of that mountain to stay hungry. With being tremendously wealthy, is really something.
Insane.
Why does he talks a lot of shit? But why does he get up and run at 1 a.m., 2 a.m.? Why does he stay in the gym the longest? It's because he's scared. Because he's scared of losing.
Yeah.
You don't ever say that out loud, and I'm a big believer, like, you shouldn't vocalize shit. But he does that type of training because he's scared.
Yeah.
Scared of losing. And people look at McGregor, they get to the top. They reach that pinnacle. Life gets soft.
Yeah, you get that Lambo yacht.
He gets soft.
Yeah.
So
pinky toe.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I got to go with Drakus.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
There's one more thing I want to bring up, and I usually like to talk about it, but when I was, 11 years ago, 38, so 27, Maximus,
yeah,
where the gym name, my first son passed away at 5 days old.
Oh man!
And we're still not sure why. He was premature, but he was still 6 pounds. Like my last 2 daughters that came, they're identical twins. One was 2.3, the other one was like 3.4 or 5 or something like that. So, but he ended up passing away, and as like a father, I was like, what can I do to carry on my son's legacy? Because he can't. I always felt like that was my mission, to carry on his name, because he no longer can't. So that's when I really I bought a one-way trip to Thailand, and that's when dealing with all that pain motivated me more than anything. Like nothing else, no one could do anything to me to stop me. Like you could shoot me and I'd laugh at you. And that's what really took my skill with business and in life and fighting to a whole different level. Was obviously the toughest moment anyone could deal with, especially a father. So that
makes sense, man. That's why you got that fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't imagine, man, losing. I'm so sorry, bro.
Yeah, man.
I can't imagine, seriously. Like, I'm a father, and I can do a lot of things in life. I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, a lot of people, my wife went to counseling.
Yeah.
I'm not big on it. I got a lot going on up here, and that's for me. But she went to counseling, and a lot of women and people that were there, turned to drugs, and they got other kids, but they used that moment in their life to just give up. And after we went through it, my wife wanted another kid, and we only talked about having one. And I couldn't handle it again, so I was scared, and we ended up having my son Titus, and then
that's the 20-year-old.
No, he's my two stepkids. I have two stepkids. One's 20, Alec, and my other stepdaughter Brooke is 16. But I've been in their life since they were little. I paid for them and stuff, so they're mine. And then we were done after supposed to be done after Maximus. Then we had Titus. Then we for sure were done. And then my grandma, before she passed, she's like, Richard, I think you need to try for some more. I was like, no, Grandma, I'm good. She's like, no, I think twin girls. And then my grandma passed, and no bullshit, I think it was like a few months later, Kel was pregnant with twin girls.
She called it.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, dude.
So, like, I don't know if I wish every day my son was here. I don't think I would be in the position I was or am in now, or be who I am today and reach what I've reached, or have my children. So I almost look at it like it was a sacrifice.
Yeah.
Maybe it's me justifying it or not, but
No,
that's my why.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, my son that's 21-year-old Logan. He was shortly after he turned 2, he was diagnosed with leukemia.
Oh.
And I got to tell you, I can remember 1 or 2 incidences in my life where it broke me as a person. When I said it broke me, like I couldn't speak for, honestly, probably 4 or 5 days. People would call, check on me and all that. I couldn't, like, I had to hand it off to my wife. I literally did not have words. All I could do was just hold my baby in the hospital bed, and it took 31 days to achieve remission. And I'm grateful every day, man, that, you know what I'm saying, happy, healthy. As a matter of fact, when we're sitting, he's in Hawaii, and he's getting our family tribal tattoo. He's getting the sleeve right now.
Nice.
Like it's like 16 hours, but he's getting the first 8 hours done today.
Nice.
And so, a little nervous, what I'm saying? I'm like, but yeah, I get it, man. It's, I don't wish that on anybody. I couldn't even imagine, honestly. Like, my son obviously survived, and he's in remission, but man, that happens, brother. I gotta tell you, man, good Lord, just take me with. Because I know I'm gonna be useless after that. So honestly, man, a lot of credit, a lot of respect.
Thank you.
Deep, man. Well, that's adversity kings right there, guys. I don't got anything else to add on top of that. That's deep. That's passion. Anybody out there struggling, I'm not big on the counseling either, but I would recommend let Rich be inspiration to you to just dig down and find a way to just allow whatever's hurting you to fuel you. Maybe that's not the best counseling advice and the best mental health advice, but in our own way, shapes, and forms, I think that's kind of changed our lives. So, but man, shout out to you, Rich, for real, bro.
Thanks,
so,
bro.
Another episode of Adversity Kings, guys. I hope you guys tune in, like it. If you guys want to contact Rich for anything, they can find you where?
My Instagram is Muay Thai Chicago, or the gym, Maximus Muay Thai, or just look up the gym.
Maximus Muay Thai and Muay Thai Chicago. Peace out. We'll see you guys in a week.